Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, welcome. Happy summer. I am just impressed that we have 18 people here because I know summer is crazy for everybody. So thank you for taking the time to get on here and just be with us tonight. So I think I know the majority of you guys on here, but if I do not know you, my name is Jamie Carey and I am directly under Cindy. She's one of my best friends and the reason that I got into this business, obviously. And so I have been coaching, gosh, it'll be 2 years in August, which is totally bananas. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. So if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, hopefully, I know we're about to have a coaching event coming up soon and then convention. So hopefully I can meet you. I will say that Cindy wanted me to share that I did have the pleasure of ranking up to global in May, which is just absolutely surreal. Like I feel like it's still it's just kind of crazy town. So just wanted to share that with y'all because it has been a wild ride. And I will quickly say this is my, I guess technically my third, but I'm not going to count my first summer because that's when I joined and things were just wild. So my second real summer in the business. And so I know we've all already touched on this, but if June is feeling a little wonky to you guys, if people are not responding to you, if things are kind of, out of sorts, just know that that's normal. We are all experiencing that. And it's just summer and it is what it is. And so I just want to encourage you in that it is happening for all of us. And those people will absolutely come back around come August. And I truly believe that the best way that we can show up in this season is with our own health and continuing to be the example to those people that are watching us and have been watching us. So I have the pleasure of introducing two of my dearest coaches. They are absolutely adorable. They are two of the most incredible people I have ever met. And that's what's really cool about this business is I did not know them before this. They are coaches with a coach of mine, a direct coach of mine. And so I would not have had the pleasure of meeting them had it not been through that connection. And so they have been on program together for a while. They have incredible results, but now they're rocking their coaching business. And so I wanted them to come on here and share a little bit about that, their journey, and just share some gold with you guys. So Jeff and Gail Middleton, if y'all will come off and introduce yourselves.
Hello, guys. This is I'm Jeff. This is my wife, Gail. A little bit about us. We started this in October 1st to be exact, and both needed to lose a good amount of weight. I had some issues the year before with some different things, and I'm losing her. Why can I not think of her name? Angela, sorry. Angela Bailey works with my wife and talked to her about the program and the plan, and we jumped on board. And if you know us, we don't dangle much. We kind of strip naked and jump in, and that's exactly pretty much what we did. As of today, we're down a collective 153 pounds. I've lost 90. She's lost 63. And it's just been, I'm not one for dramatics, so to say that it's been something that's been life changing is not, say that just on a whim, right? It's been an absolutely amazing plan, amazing program, as everybody in here knows, because every one of us have jumped on, seen results, and started coaching as a result. So let me ask you this: how many of you are? I mean, everybody in here is a coach. How many of you are still working on you? I mean, every one of us, right? So the progress, we're the same way. I've got about 10 or 15 pounds that I still want to lose. She's got about 25 or 30 that Gail still wants to lose. The thing that happens is we get real locked in on learning the program as a client. And we go through that process, and then what happens? a couple of months in, we go, you send a few posts, your mentorship gets in, and they start talking to you about, man, you'd be great at this. Everybody, look at the likes, look at the people that are commenting, and you start coaching. And we did the exact same thing. And with that, a lot of times what happens is our focus, where we had all this momentum built up on focusing on our own journey, on our own health, that for me, I know at a point took a back seat to making sure that my clients were taken care of, trying to master the program so that I could be informative for them. I've got some notes up here. I'm trying to stay on task with, so forgive me. But trying to stay, trying to master the program, trying to stay on task. And I felt like for me, I kind of put myself on the back burner because I was so focused on handling my clients well, coaching them up. And ultimately, we both felt the same thing, and we really locked in, as best as we could on remembering that we still had a journey that we hadn't completed yet. And I think a lot of coaches, well, by show of hands, how many of you feel like you've had that experience? I know for me, it was very obvious. We get all this momentum and our mindset shift, for ourselves, and our mindset has to shift to our clients. And then, we take a little bit off of ourselves. A lot of us started coaching because it helps keep us motivated, right? It helps us stay on track, stay invested in our own health and what's going on with that. And like a lot of y'all, well, I don't know how all of you are. I mean, we didn't necessarily blow up as coaches. It took the first month we had 1 or 2 sign up. The second month we had more. The third month we had more. So we were kind of able to ease into that transition. But somebody like Mr. Gary Mack, who's on with us tonight listening, dude jumped in and he had 34 clients and 3 coaches in the first 30 days, right? So I would venture to say that he probably had to take some time back and really evaluate and make sure that he was still doing things for himself to stay within, to stay on the program, and to continue to work towards his goal. Take this time in the summer to, you've heard it on any of you that have been on any of the calls, any of the Zoom meetings. I mean, everybody's talking about what's slow and people are getting discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Use this as a time to make sure that you're focusing on you as well. It's a great opportunity to do that, kind of make sure your mindset is still that of you still have a journey that you want to get to, that you want to complete. You have goals to achieve. And right now is a great time to do that.
So a couple of things that we talked about that have resonated with Jeff and I, as we kind of talk about a little bit of the summer slowdown as far as business is concerned, is the fact that, like he mentioned, our journey personally isn't over yet. So we're taking the time to refocus on ourselves. So for example, on July 1st, we're going to start the Fat Burn Blitz. We've never done it before. It's a way to jumpstart it. So we're going to do that. And Jeff's going to talk a little bit more about that. But we decided now was the time to do that because Jeff is a football coach. I'm an assistant principal. So we're in the only downtime we have right now. So we understand the summer slowdown. We understand people are on vacation. People are visiting family and friends. People are not on a typical routine because the kids aren't in school, or maybe work hours change for the summer. So those kind of things make people shift focus and shift momentum that Jeff was talking about earlier. So, and even if you go and you look in Taking Back My Life, how many people have posted, I fell off the wagon, I'm starting again, I need a reboot, I'm going to start, who's with me, I need motivation. It's because it's the time of year where everyone is out having the fun and doing the things. that, let's be honest, haven't been able to do it a couple of years because of COVID. So everybody is out and on the move. Cindy's in the airport right now. She's like, bye, people. So it's one of those things that we understand why the slowdown and the shift in momentum happens. But one of the things that I've heard more and more and more as we try to become proficient in coaching and get better prepared to create new coaches is that people are watching. They may not be posting, they may not be commenting, they may not be liking your post, but they're still scrolling. They may have more time to scroll right now than they've ever had. They may be going to your personal page and looking back at where you started compared to where you are, which is why all those before and after posts and all of those leaning green posts, they're still there. They're still causing momentum. They're still causing people to watch you. And one of the things that I did for a long time before we talked about jumping on board with Optavia is I wanted to see if the people I was watching were going to stay with it and stick with it. And Jeff and I are coming up on 9 months of being on program. And I don't know about some of you, but there's been times that I have tried things and couldn't make it 9 days, much less 9 months. So one of the things that you can do during this slower season is go back and remember your why. We hear that a lot. Why did you get on board? Why did you set your goals the way that you did? And what are you doing currently to maintain? Some of you have already hit your goal weight. I've seen the pictures. Y'all look phenomenal. And you're rocking transition, you're rocking maintenance, but you're still you have a business that you're trying to support. Well, you don't forget where you came from, but I've met a lot of you that I don't know where you came from. Jeff and I were talking about Jamie's post today. If you have not seen her post today, go look at it. Girlfriend needs to come with a warning label before she posts that after picture that she posted today because it's amazing. But I've only known Jamie for 9 months. I didn't know her before. And so don't be afraid to continually put yourself out there to be able to make yourself available for the people that are continuing to watch. And just make sure that you're keeping your health a priority. And like some of y'all might be like Jeff and I, we're still in the weight loss phase. So we haven't transitioned yet and we haven't maintenance yet, but we've got clients that are really close. So since we're not quite there yet, we're educating ourselves and taking a little bit more time that we have to make sure we know what that looks like before the next phase comes, because the next phase for us is following convention, and it's going to get fast and it's going to get furious really, really quickly. So just those two things we wanted to kind of touch on tonight is, like Jeff said, don't get discouraged if you're in a slump right now with the business side of things. It's expected and it's predicted. Jamie said it, Cindy said it, Ashley said it. They're all saying, hold on. But like Jeff's real good at that. This is a marathon, not a sprint concept. He's much better at it than I am. But what you're doing right now, if you're posting your lean and greens and you're posting your workouts and you're posting your whys, people are still watching. If your lean and greens go to burgers and beer, they're going to question. They're going to go, what happened? I thought she was doing so good. I was seeing all this healthy stuff and all this fun stuff. And now she's posting things that I'm doing and things that I've seen. So just stay with it and make sure that you're still kind of staying true to your why and working on you so that you can continue to boost your business on the back end when things start to ramp up and people go, okay, I'm back on schedule. Kids are back in school. I can't fit my work clothes that I was in 2 months ago. Let's get busy. And they're going to come back to you and they're going to show up. So just continue to show up for you and you'll show up for your business.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you guys so much. I knew that was going to be amazing. And Gail, I think my favorite thing that you just said is, show up for you to show up for your business. And like, I cannot even stress enough. I mean, Gail, you're so sweet to say that about my post today, but the truth of the matter is, y'all, like, I didn't get there overnight. Like, this wasn't just an overnight transformation for me. This has been life-changing for me. And this has been 2 years. Well, I started program the end of July, so almost 2 years that I started program. And I am continuing to be a work in progress. Like, I literally got to my goal weight and then I was like, okay, what's next? Where can I go now in my health? And I know that that's because I know people are watching, and I know that people were waiting for me to gain the weight back. I mean, I hate to say that, y'all all know it. It's true. Your market is waiting for you to put that weight back on, because that's just human nature. And that's the way we think. And that's the way that, we're just like, oh yeah, is this going to be the next gimmicky thing or whatever? But when you continue showing up for yourself and you continue proving to people like, no, wait a minute, this is real. Like, they are really still rocking and rolling. And I mean, can I just take a minute to congratulate the Middletons on, what did you say? I wrote it down, 153 pounds down together. Like, that is such an inspiration. Like, it gives me chills, because that is just the coolest thing ever. And it's because they continue to show up for themselves that their business continues to grow. And like they said, it wasn't overnight. They didn't just blow up. It's been a slow process, but they continue showing up, and people are, have been watching from the beginning and are just now coming around. And so I love that. And then Jeff, you said something that I really love too, and that was use summer to focus on yourself. And I think that that's really cool, because I know, like he said, we've all said it and you've heard it, but like, I feel like the spring was crazy. It was busy. We had the promotion. If you're newer than that, then you don't know what I'm talking about, but it was a little wild, and now things are starting to slow down. And so it's like, take that time, focus on yourself, focus on your goals. Like Gail said, reset your why, or remember your why. Remember why you started this in the first place. And that's really, really how you're going to continue to motivate people and continue to have people watching. So thank you guys so much for sharing that. I just love y'all to death. You're such a joy. So my next beautiful friend she was one of my very first coaches, and we kind of laugh about this now because I did not know what I was doing, y'all, when she started coaching. And she has been such a blessing to me, and just such a joy to work with and get to know and build a relationship with. And to be honest, it has just been really, really cool to watch her grow throughout this process. Like, I know for my own self, I am not the same person today that I was 2 years ago. Like, I don't even have time to begin to explain all of that. But I am a completely different person. And that's because I grew in my own self and my health, but also like my mindset and my mental health has just changed so much, and my confidence, and just the way that I show up. And I always think about Cindy, because she obviously been friends for a long time, and she has watched me kind of grow and blossom. She's walked me through some pretty crazy things. And so I always think like, I think I got muted. It said the host muted you. Sorry, Jenny. So I don't know how long I was muted for. Hopefully not long. But I always wonder, like, the outside looking in, like, just what a transformation that's been. And I feel like that's what I've gotten to see with Fallon. She has grown so much since I have known her, and so much in this business. And we've had to work through so many concepts and just had so many conversations about all the things. And so my biggest encouragement to all of you is, and we say it all the time, but use your mentorship, like use those people. That's what we're here for. But Fallon, you have just you have grown so much into your boldness and your confidence. And I know that you are so convicted about what we do here because of your job as a nurse and your role there. And so I would just love for you to come off mute and share with everybody a little bit about your journey and just your passion for this business.
Yes, absolutely. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. So like Jamie said, my name is Fallon. I am out here in El Paso, Texas, where my husband and I, we own 4 businesses with our business partners. I have been a nurse for over 12 years. And so I did my first 9 years in the NICU. So our awesome nurse tribe here knows that NICU is a different world. And so it's very specific, very specialized. But 4 years ago, I actually stepped into a different role. And so I now work with the pediatric population. I serve as the float pool nurse, kind of filling the gaps where needed on 8 different units. And so my job has now just afforded me a different lens to kind of see different perspective on health, our healthcare system, and just how unhealthy our population is in general. But just to tell you guys a little bit about my story specifically, about 6 years ago, I had a pretty significant tailbone injury. So my mobility was drastically changed overnight. And it had a pretty profound impact on my life. So, prior to that, I had never been a stranger to the health and fitness world. Like, that's just something that I've always been passionate about. I played sports growing up. I worked out all my life. It's just something that I've always loved. It was my outlet. So all of that to say, macros, meal prep, heavy lifting, HIIT training, like all of that stuff is just something that I've always enjoyed. So it's just been a big part of my life, forever. But so that tailbone injury that I had about 6 years ago, my life was changed pretty drastically. It was a pretty depressing and dark time in my life. And it took them a long time to figure out what was wrong with me. It took them, I think, over a year exactly. And so fast forward 2 procedures and, 18 plus months of physical therapy, I was at my new normal. So then I had to address those 20 pounds that I had gained, in that 3-year period. So, I knew what to do. So I got to work, got to meal prepping, got to my workouts again, and it wasn't working for me. And that was up to 2019, and then 2020 comes. So here's COVID now. We all know that COVID affected all of our lives in some capacity. It's been a difficult 2 years really for the majority of us in some way, shape, or form. But as a pediatric nurse and business owners, like, we got hit pretty hard over here. So we had 2 businesses at the time with our business partners, and it was a pretty uncertain time, if I can say that. Just financially, like, we didn't know if we were going to lose everything that we had worked so hard for. And then me as a pediatric nurse, thank God COVID I did not set my timer. Jamie, don't kill me. So thank God COVID did not affect our pediatric population the same way that it affected our adults. But that meant that I didn't have a job. So I work as needed. I think I worked a total of 8 days in a 10-month period. So our 2 businesses took a hit. My job took a hit. Like, things were pretty much a disaster over here. So I did have time to work out, meal prep, all the things. And I still wasn't having the results that I wanted. And so I saw Jamie's post in September. I think it was exactly September 19th that I reached out to her. And I'd known Jamie since I was about 12 years old. I always admired Jamie. So, it was kind of like, if Jamie's doing it, like, well, maybe I'll give this a whirl. But we had our health assessment, and it was $420 at the time. And so, I already told you what COVID was doing to our life and our finances. I was so embarrassed to say, like, I don't think I can do $420 right now. Like, that's just not in the cards for us. And I was afraid to tell my husband, like, hey, I want to try this program, like, this one last thing. I've done it all. Nothing has worked for me. Like, I think I really want to give this a shot. It worked for Jamie. She said people were waiting for her to gain that weight back. I was one of them, because I was like, she lost the weight, but let's see if she gains it back. And then she didn't. And so, thank God that Jamie continued to follow up on me, guys. She followed up with me September, October, November. So December, that was the month, right? But when they say that fortune is in the follow-up, y'all, like, it's true. And so that's part of what I want to talk about tonight is we hear some of the things, like, that are repeated, over and over and over. And so then it just becomes this repetitive thing that you hear often, and you can't really be sure that, like, okay, it's kind of like you hear it over and over. So it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Well, I am absolutely a product of follow-up, because I finally told my husband after Thanksgiving, like, I really like, I can't stop thinking about that program. Like, I really just want to try it. Like, I know it's $420. I'll do it for 30 days. And if it doesn't work like that, I'm not contracted into anything. But, I just felt really bad because we weren't really in a good position at the time for me to do that. But I was desperate. And thank God, Jamie kept following up with me. So December 4th, I finally purchased my box with my education system. And it took a little bit of time to get here with a little bit of a shipping delay. But it got here the night before we were going to leave across the country to go spend Christmas with my dad's family. So I didn't take it with me because it got here, in the evening. We were leaving at dark 30 the next morning. And I started December 26th. So 2 weeks in, I had lost 10 pounds. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. Like, this is for real, because I haven't been able to do that in like 3 years. So, all of that to say that I'm just thankful that Jamie continued to follow up on me. And, less than 3 weeks into program, I actually called Jamie. It was my day off. And I was like, hey, like, we need to talk. I want to know a little bit more about this coaching thing. Like, do you make money doing this? And she was like, as a matter of fact, I do. And I was like, okay, because I think I might want to do this. So we had my Coach Explorer, and obviously the rest is history. But I started coaching a few weeks later, and now I've been coaching for about 15 months. But I also want to talk to y'all here, like, as a nurse. And, there's lots of different businesses out there. There's shampoo, there's makeup, there's wax, there's all sorts of stuff. But I think it's safe to say, like, we could get by without those things. Like, they're not really a necessity. But as a nurse, I want to tell you guys that so many people, like, they need what we have. We have a multifaceted system, with a coach, an education system, a fantastic Facebook community. And then, shoot, your macros are done for you. Like, I think the convenience factor is it's huge. But I think if we've learned anything from COVID, y'all, like, if you don't have your health, like, what do we have? Like, we don't have much. And so, I know that a lot of us have been doing the Coach Burt's training the last 4 weeks. And so a couple things that he said that really stood out to me. Of course, we want to be bold, we want to be confident, but really and truly, you guys, like, we're looking for the people that are looking for us. And they are out there. Like, they really truly are. And, if it could help me, somebody who just had 20 pounds to lose, I knew that this could be a massive life change for somebody who has some real issues, So like Jamie said, I had a conviction about what we had to offer, like, very early on, because I could see that this could really truly transform somebody's life. And so, something else, if we're having a health assessment or just sharing about program, some people are going to do this, some people aren't. And so what? Like, that has been such a powerful statement that Coach Burt made within this 4-week confidence building training sessions, whatever you want to call them. And really, truly, some are going to do it, some are not. And so what? Like, if you know that your intentions are pure, that's what matters here. And so I wanted to share just a couple of things from a few of my clients. Just this last week, I had a grown man crying on the phone. I'm not a crier, I'm sorry. But it's just powerful, you guys. He's lost almost 50 pounds in 8 weeks. All of his lab work has gone down 50 plus points. And, something that he said to me was, if I didn't have this, I'd be on my way to my deathbed. Like, if I didn't do this, like, my doctors told me plenty of times I might die. And so I'm not even a crier, so this is ridiculous, I'm sorry. But it's just powerful. And I want us to not just think about this as a cliche. Like, this is real life, you guys. And when they say, like, we're helping people, we're changing lives, like, I think that it just kind of becomes that repetitive thing that we don't appreciate, and we don't truly think about what we have to offer people. Like, we actually truly have the power to save their lives. And let me just tell you, the stuff that I see at the hospital, it is so gut wrenching. And it's the worst part about it is it's preventable. You know, tell me a health condition that isn't also related to your lifestyle and your weight. Like, name one. You know, I think about some of my coaches who are on here that are just they're truly remarkable. Goya, my amazing coach Goya, she had some pretty, you know, rough doctor's appointments with some bad news, and they were recommending weight loss surgery to her. And I hope that it's okay that I'm sharing this. And it upset her and it upset me. And then she had people from work telling her, like, you should do the weight loss surgery. You should do that because you're not going to be able to do this. And that just upset me even more. And I'm here to tell you that Goya has transformed her health in a way that weight loss surgery couldn't. Because, okay, great, go have weight loss surgery. Like, what do you learn from that? And how many people have weight loss surgery that have gained the weight back? You know, we just have such an amazing tool at our fingertips to help so many people who are desperate, who are hopeless, who don't know what to do. I knew what to do and I couldn't get it done. But there's so many people out there that don't know what the heck to do to make these changes in their health. And it's so important that we're there to share it, and that we're bold, and that we're confident, and that we share this with the conviction, because we truly have, you know, the opportunity to empower our clients, to save people's lives, and to really truly change the trajectory of their health. And you know, another one of my awesome coaches, Melissa, she has gone through so much this last 6 months, just 6 short months. Like, she's been through such a whirlwind. And the one thing that she told me that she loved about this, I mean, she was sending me her non-scale victories literally every day, guys. But she told me that with everything else that is just utter chaos in my life, this is the one thing that I can control. Like, this is one thing that I have control over. And, you know, so I've already said too much here. I've gone on for too long, but I just want to encourage you guys to be bold, to be confident, to share this program for what we know that it can do, and just be unapologetic about it, because so many people really truly need what we have to offer in this. And that's all that I have.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, we could just we could just be all done now, because y'all just killed it. As you guys can tell, that is why I wanted Fallon to share her heart. We were talking earlier today, and it was like, I don't know if I can do 5-10 minutes. I'm like, girl, you just do your thing, and I trust you, because I know how passionate she is. I have the obvious pleasure of working with her very, very closely. And she's just such a joy, and you can hear her passion for this. You can feel it. And I think that is truly remarkable. And that is what we get to do. And that is why we are here. And that's why, you know, I think it's so important to start with talking about our health, right? And that transformation that happens within us. And then when you feel convicted about that, because you really are in that place where you're like, this changed my life, this changed the trajectory of my life forever, you can boldly and confidently share that with other people. And I have seen that through and through with Fallon. I just, like I started off saying, like, the growth that I have seen in her has been amazing. But y'all, like, for her to be able to compare this to her nursing job and say, she tells me all the time, like, I get to truly help change lives and transform lives now. Like, I really feel like I'm making a difference in a way that I couldn't otherwise make a difference. And like, that gives me chills. Like, that is so powerful. And so I just could not agree more with everything that you said, Fallon. You know, I just love you to death. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, and I was thinking about while you were talking, is just to kind of back up and go back to the follow-up, because y'all, like you're gonna have a lot of people ghosting you right now, and you're gonna have a lot of people that they're not responding to your calls, or you message them and they don't respond. And you heard her say, I messaged her in October. We talked in September, I messaged her in October, messaged her in November. She started in December. So I didn't sit back and go, oh, like Halloween's coming and then Thanksgiving's coming. Like she's probably not going to want to start program, or, like, no, like we don't know. We don't know when people are going to want to start. Did I think she was going to start on December 4th and actually start program on December 26th? Like who does that? Fallon did that. So, we make up our narrative in our head of like when someone's ready or when they're going to do it, and that's just not the case. And so you just continue showing up, you continue following up with people, you continue showing up with your own health so that they continue to watch you. And that really is the magic sauce. That is really what we do here. That is the skeleton of what we get to do. And so, the last thing I would say is we were on a training earlier today with the gorgeous Tiffany Howard, and they were kind of touching on this same stuff. And one of the things she said is just being in consistent action will get results. It doesn't necessarily mean that you show up and you do the action today and you're going to get a client tomorrow, but 60 to 90 days, y'all. Like, I know you've heard it. I know we say it all the time. We say summer's slow, but wait for August. Like, trust me, wait for August. But it's the action you're putting in right now, today, through the summer, that is going to get those results. So just wanted to mention that. But Fallon, you're amazing. Thank you so much for showing up and just being so real and vulnerable. I was thinking as you were talking, the Middleton said, I think Jeff said, like, or no, it was Gail said, you don't really know someone's story, right? Like she didn't know me before this journey, and so she doesn't know where I came from. She doesn't know my backstory, and so it's really nice to get to hear people's hearts and hear where they came from. And you kind of got to hear a little bit about why Fallon is passionate about this, and so just so appreciative of you guys for being bold and willing to get on here and share. So I think we were supposed to be done at 8, so sorry we went a little bit over, but I feel like it was valuable. So I will open it up for any questions about anything that y'all have. Go to gallery view so I can see everybody. And I know we say this every week, but like literally y'all, it can be anything. I feel like I'm gonna have to bring Jenny in. She's always like the good icebreaker.
You're on your own tonight. No, I'm kidding.
Whatever, we're twinning. I'm not on my own.
I know. Who's going to convention? Yay! I'm so excited. Anybody struggling with anything that they want to talk about, or?
I have a question.
Yes, Carla.
Hi. That's been like, so I kind of struggle with adding new friends, especially because for work, for a living, I do marketing and PR. So it feels weird to me to add people. And I keep hearing a lot of y'all say, oh, if I have 25 or more friends in common with them, I just add them. And like, I'm looking at my stuff here and I'm like, 3 friends in common, 1 friend in common, 1 friend in common. Like, I don't have the 25 friends in common. So it makes me feel so weird. And I don't know if it's just because I have friends like all over the US but I mean, has anybody had that? And how do you kind of go about, yes. How do you go about not feeling as weird?
I feel like Callie, like I feel like you need to. Didn't you talk on this?
No, I'm giggling because I just wrote in the chat, like I literally feel like I'm at the bottom of the barrel. And I'm just like, guys, I just want you to be my friend. Because and the same thing with my jobs. I've been both a teacher, and then I've also been in sales as well, and marketing, graphic design. So I have, and of course, college. I mean, I have friends from so many different facets. I mean, just all over the place. And so I'm like getting to the point where I'm like, same thing, one friend in common, two friends in common. And I mean, I think it's obviously different because my personal job, you know, my main occupation is in education, but you know, it's a little different than marketing and things like that. But I guess I just sometimes I just add them. And I'm like, all right, well, if they accept me, they accept me. But yeah, I mean, being in the business that you're in, Carla, I mean, it is different. I'm wondering if you know, if maybe making a health page would be beneficial. I don't know. I'm completely lost. I'm just giggling because I'm right there.
I mean, I am in education too. I can share what I have done to help because I was kind of in the same boat. So I busted out my yearbooks and went through my yearbooks. I'm like, oh, I forgot about this person and I forgot about this person. And then I found my graduating high school class page, joined that, started adding friends from the graduating high school class page. And if I find someone that doesn't have that many friends in common, and I'm like, okay, I'll go look at, I post stuff about my daughter. So, and it makes me, you know, I'm a mom, I'm an educator. And so I'll go onto their page and make sure they're not crazy. And if I think that they're not crazy, then I will add them as a friend. And then I'll immediately send them a Facebook message, be like, hey, I saw that you and I have mutual friends with Jim and Susie. I know Jim and Susie from this place. How do you know Jim and Susie? It's such a small world. And so that kind of opens up that conversation with someone that I didn't know. And I'll say I probably have, I mean, at least 15 clients that was our first interaction, was I didn't know them. We didn't have very many friends, and it was just me making sure they weren't crazy and then messaging them.
Yeah. And I will say that kind of goes like in another direction, Carla. But my personal experience, and this is not like, it's what you are able to do, right? Like not everybody is able to do this, but for me personally, I find that actually putting myself in new circles is what has been the most fruitful. And so for me, like I'm pretty active in my church. And so I've tried to serve in other areas of the church that I haven't served in previously. And that way, like, yeah, I mean, I will serve on a Sunday and meet 5 new people that I've never met, and like I go home and I friend them right away, and like I don't like there's no shame in that. Like I'm just trying to be a friendly person, but so church has been a huge one for me. And like, you know, joining a new Bible study, like I joined a Bible study, and that was like a huge women's thing where there was like, I mean, tons and tons of women. And so just putting yourself in different circles where you can actually meet people. And then like, I know you've done this before, but I've gotten really good, because we've talked about this, but I've gotten really good about like meeting people and friending them on Facebook, like right then and there. And I know you did that on like an airplane one time. And so that will get more, you'll get more comfortable with that, with meeting people and being like, hey, let's connect on Facebook. You know, I met a girl the other day. I was like, I like your hair. Do you do hair? Because her hair color was really pretty. And she was like, yeah, I'm actually a hairstylist. I was like, let me find you on Facebook, you know? So just finding ways to be creative about, you know, friending people, but also getting yourself in new circles outside of work, that maybe, you know, joining some sort of hobby that you're into or something, you know, taking your dog to the dog park. I mean, I don't know, silly things like that, but it's a good way to meet people.
Yeah. And there's a really good like brainstorm thing on the hub. Like I know we're not doing the hub right now, but I would ask your mentor about that, Carla, if you don't know about it, because it really helps you to jog your brain. But and it's not about having to have 15 million friends in common with someone. That's just like a pretty easy go-to. And that's really only going to be the case if like they were in your tight circle of friends, right? Like, you know, so but I wouldn't let it bother you. I kind of love what Rachel said. Just go to their page, and if you kind of make sure that they seem like someone that's cool, like add them as a friend. So, and then just to kind of Callie, to your thing about like the health page, I've had coaches do this, and I will say people can kind of get caught in the weeds, and then it's like something they feel like they have to keep up with on top of just like the daily stuff that we're already doing, and it's exhausting. And so I'm not saying that you wouldn't be able to do it, but I just from personal experience and stuff like that, I just would say, trust the process that we have. Keep it simple, because that can get really hard to keep up with. And so that would be my only take on that. But anyone else, any other questions, or did that help you, Carla? Good. Thank you guys for sharing. All right, going once, going twice. Thanks, guys. I will stop the recording. And then Jamie, was there